Hey guys! I'm really excited about my video today because it's one of my favorite topics to talk about, weddings. Like I said in my first video, I am a wedding planner. I work for one specific venue, so I only work with the couples that book that venue, and I meet with them 3 times prior to their wedding, usually 3 months in advance, and then I help them just plan out all their decorations and their timeline and their music. I also work with them on the actual day of their wedding, and I make sure that everything runs smoothly and on time. Today, I want to just give you guys some pointers if you are planning a wedding, or just in the future when you do have to plan a wedding, some wedding do's and don'ts. I know this is gonna sound biased, but the first thing you need to do is hire a coordinator. And the reason I say that is because a coordinator takes on all of the stress of the wedding so that you don't have to worry about anything on the actual day of the wedding. A lot of times, when you don't have a coordinator, that stress falls on you because you have to make sure, like, okay, we need to be here now, we need to be doing this now. And if you have a coordinator, they're focusing on the time. That's their job. They're making sure, like, okay, it's 5 o'clock, this is the ceremony needs to start. They line up the people to walk, and gathering people is one of the most difficult things as a coordinator, is trying to get everyone lined up prior to the wedding because, you know, so-and-so is over there talking with, you know, a guest, or so-and-so's this one, or grandpa's over there sitting down because he doesn't know he's supposed to walk down the aisle. So that is one of the hardest things as a wedding planner is, or like a coordinator, is the fact that you have to get everyone down the aisle at a certain time. The reason you want to hire a coordinator is because then you as a bride or a groom do not have to worry about anything. Your main focus is having fun and enjoying your evening, enjoying one of the most important days of your lives. And yes, because I'm a coordinator, it sounds biased that I'm like, oh, you need to hire a coordinator. But for my wedding, when I do get married, I plan on hiring a coordinator even though I am a coordinator, because I don't want to have that stress on the actual day of the wedding. And I feel like if you don't have a coordinator, that stress falls on you. So that is my first tip: hire a coordinator. Second tip, plan ahead. This is so important, honestly. Do not procrastinate, otherwise you won't get everything done and your wedding won't be as you envisioned it to begin with. So make sure that you set lists. Like, I always write down lists for my brides. I'm like, this is what you need done by our second meeting. This is what you need to have done by your third meeting. And if your coordinator does that, that's great. But if they don't, then you need to make sure that you do that for yourself, because you want to stay on time, on track, and make sure that you're getting everything done that you want to get done for your wedding. I think that's just like one of the most crucial things, is making sure that you're staying on time. The third thing that I would say is something that you need to do for your wedding is have a timeline. A timeline is so important because it keeps everything on track. You want to make sure that you're allocating enough time for each individual event, and you want to make sure that you get everything in your wedding that you want in the wedding. So you want to make sure that you're getting the special dances in, that you're getting the cake cutting in, toasts in, and you want to plan that out. You want to have the timeline for it, because if it's like, if your wedding starts at 5 and it's 8 o'clock and you haven't done any of these things, it's like, oh no, we're running out of time, you know, and then it's rushed. So you just want to make sure that you're allocating enough time for each individual special event during your wedding, so that it's not all crammed into one time when you realize, okay, we need to get this stuff done. Okay, another thing is, a lot of times people like to use fake flowers for the wedding to save a little bit of money, which is great. Honestly, if that's like something you have to do in order to save money, then that's great. I don't think fake flowers look terrible. I've had several family members use fake flowers, and I've helped make fake flower bouquets, and I've made corsages using fake flowers, and they always turn out really good. But I think that it kind of takes away from the overall look of your wedding if you don't have real flowers. This is a personal opinion of mine, so you may not agree with this. You may think that fake flowers is the route to go. Sometimes fake flowers just don't look the best in pictures, and a lot of times when I've watched like wedding videos, I see a lot of the flowers are incorporated into wedding videos. With fake flowers, you can't really do that. You can't incorporate into the video because they don't look real. From far distances, in far away pictures, they look great, but any close-up shots, they do not look real. And I would say something you can do as a compromise, like if you're like, I really want to save money with flowers, it's too expensive, I don't think I need all real flowers, do fake flowers for some things and real flowers for other things. Your bride's bouquet has to be real flowers because that is like one of the main things that they get in pictures, in couple pictures, in the ceremony pictures, in any pictures that the bride is in. She always has her bouquet in her hand, and if they're fake flowers, they just never look as good in photos. So I would say in order to compromise, at least have your bride's bouquet be real flowers. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is something that I think you should really invest in. I've had a couple brides not hire photographers or professional photographers, like they just have a friend do it or someone with their cell phone do it, which is fine. Like you can still get good pictures from a cell phone. However, I think that a photographer and a videographer is something that you really need to invest in because that is how you remember your day. When you're getting married, you get so caught up with talking to guests, and a lot of times you're nervous because it's a nerve-wracking day for anyone who's getting married. You're just nervous because you're excited, you know, your adrenaline is running. So the only way to truly remember a wedding is through photographs and a video. So I think that investing in a good photographer and a good videographer is really important because that's how your wedding day lives on. Now, something that you can go cheaper on to save a little bit more money is the cake. I don't think that you need to have an expensive cake by any means. It just gets eaten. It's really not that important. Yes, cakes are very pretty and they can be dolled up really nice, but in the end, no one remembers the cake. The cake is more of just like a cute little thing to have for dessert. I've had several of my brides use Publix as their cakes, and sometimes Publix can be more expensive on cakes, but sometimes they're a lot cheaper than an actual bakery, and I think that's really smart. I think going cheaper on your cake or cupcakes or any type of dessert is really the smartest route and a way to save money because it's just not as important. And you can get really cheap cakes that taste really good and look really pretty for a lot less than a real bakery style cake. If you're trying to save money in an area, I would say save money with your cake. Okay, and the last tip I have for you is hire a DJ. I've had so many weddings that don't have DJs, which is fine because I'm a coordinator and I can still make everything run smoothly and I can still kind of fall in the lane of the DJ. I can be the DJ also and play music, and you can have a playlist and you can play off your Spotify or your iTunes or however you want to do it, that's fine. However, DJs have a presence and they know when it's time to get the party started. They know when it's time to slow things down. They know when it's like, okay, this is getting a little dead. We need to get this party, bumping. A DJ is just really important because they set the tone and the mood of the evening. And if you are a dancing type of person and your family is a dancing type of person, then a DJ is really important because they initiate the dancing time. And it's really hard when you're playing off a playlist or you're just having like a friend do it, or even if you're doing it yourself, that's so stressful. So it's just not the same. It really isn't. And having someone to announce to you during announcements and make everything run smoothly, like the coordinator will make sure everything's on time, but the DJ announces when everything will happen, and that's what keeps everything flowing smoothly. So I just think that investing in a DJ is something that you really need to do. Okay guys, so thank you so much for watching this video. This is one of my favorite topics, so if you guys want to see more of these videos, I would be happy to help with some more wedding do's and don'ts and some more tips on how to coordinate a wedding, so that would be awesome. So please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below if you want to see anything more from me. So thank you guys, and I'll see you soon.